Hi guys, my name is Christine, and today I'm talking about motivation. So, the main thing that I want to discuss with you is if you're lacking motivation right now, if you're lacking motivation currently, then I feel like one of the biggest issues that you have is that for whatever reason, you just don't want it enough right now. I'm not saying that you don't want it, I'm just saying currently, if you feel unmotivated, and you can't push through, you can't be bothered basically. You don't have the self-discipline to follow through on what you want. It's because you don't want it enough. You're not going through enough pain and discomfort to actually do something about whatever it is that you feel unmotivated for, right? Now, like I said, it doesn't mean that you don't want it, but at this current time, your desire for wanting it is not good enough. Because if you really, really wanted it, if you was going through enough pain and discomfort and you were fed up enough, then you would actually be following through. You would be actually doing it. So my question to you is why do you want it? Whatever it may be. You know, if it's to do with exercise, then you want to look really, really good. Perhaps you want to attract someone. Perhaps you want to prove someone wrong. Perhaps you got rejected and you're like, I want to make them regret their decision. You have to come up with something more powerful to push you through so you can motivate yourself. So let's say it's like a business goal, right? Let's say you want to be self-employed and you want your own business and you want it to do really, really well and you want to quit your 9 to 5, right? And so you can have this job, this side business as your main focus, right? So you need to feel, if you feel unmotivated to work on your side hustle, if you feel unmotivated to work on your business, then the reason why is that you're still comfortable. You need to get really uncomfortable in order to inspire change. Like if you really want to motivate yourself, you need to get really uncomfortable with the situation that you're in. Otherwise, you're not going to change. Because if you feel comfortable and you're sort of like, yeah, I kind of would like to have, my own business. I kind of would like to be living off my side hustle. But you're not doing anything about it. It's because you don't have enough fire in your belly. You don't have enough drive. Because one thing that I learned from listening to the audiobook of Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins is basically he was saying, like, I don't want this book, Can't Hurt Me, to motivate people. I want it to give them drive. So there's a difference there between motivation and driven. Like, you've really got to really, really want it, because motivation, as Mel Robbins would say, is garbage. Motivation doesn't stick around very long. There are going to be days when you don't feel like doing something. And I definitely have those days. In fact, I have more of those days where I don't feel like doing something than not. So you have to rely on your internal drive. You have to rely on your self-discipline and your being self-motivated, basically. So basically what I'm saying to you is that you need to you just need to be more uncomfortable with the situation you're in. You have to kind of there's a technique that Tony Robbins uses, which is called the Charles Dickens approach, basically, or sort of Charles Dickens method. Basically, it's kind of like a visualization technique. And in this visualization technique, he says to you to, think about basically the things that you want in your life, or like limiting beliefs that you have about yourself, or something along those lines. But basically, if you stay how you are currently, he says, how is that going to look in 5 years' time if you stay exactly like how you are currently? If you keep on doing the things that you are doing, if you can continue to stay unmotivated and not driven enough, what are the consequences of that in 5 years? And then, he asks you to, like, how would you look if you still continue to be the way that you are 5 years from now? And then he says to do it, like, do 10 years. If you carry on, with these, these limiting beliefs about yourself, if you continue to stay unmotivated, shall we say, in relation to this video, if you continue to stay unmotivated and you never work on your goals, how's that going to look in 5 years' time? How's that going to look in 10 years' time? How's that going to look in 20 years' time? How are you going to look in 20 years' time if you stay unmotivated and you don't push through? You need to really get uncomfortable with your life in whatever area it is that you have all these goals for, in order to push yourself. Because life is going, the clock is ticking, you're not getting any younger, ever, you're never getting any younger. So you have to work on these things now, you have to do these things now, you need to get uncomfortable so you can push yourself forward, right? Let's say, for example, that you have no food, right? If you have no food, your main priority, because you're so uncomfortable, because you're so hungry, is to find food. And you'll eat whatever, basically, if you have nothing. You'll eat, I don't know, you'd probably eat grass if you were that hungry and you hadn't eaten for so long. You would eat whatever you could find, basically, because you're so uncomfortable. So you need to have this kind of attitude to these areas in your life where you have things missing. When you have goals, you have to think, I need to act and behave like I'm starving. I have to be that uncomfortable. I have to act and behave like I'm starving in order to push myself through, because otherwise you're just not going to do it. You're just, because basically you kind of feel a bit cushy, you know, life's kind of okay, life's kind of comfortable, things are sort of good, you know, but that's basically deaf to your goals. When things feel sort of comfortable and good, and you know, you don't mind slacking off, that is deaf to your goals. You need to get super uncomfortable, like you're laying on a bed of nails, like you're starving, and the only way that you can fill yourself is if you push through and you do what needs to be done. You need to, you know, really get your whys and your priorities in check. You need to really think, why do I want this? What will happen if I don't ever get this? What will happen if my dreams never come true because I just want to be comfortable? You really need to push and become uncomfortable. And I want you to, if you are finding this video helpful, and if you're finding this video motivating, then please, 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 please come back to it, okay? It costs nothing to come back to this video and watch it again when you're feeling unmotivated, okay? So what you want is you want to develop some drive. You want to realize that, hey, you know what? The clock is ticking. I'm not getting any younger. I need to do something about this today. Otherwise, I'm never going to get there. You know, that's why we think, oh, I'll just put it off until Monday. You know, I'll just put it off until tomorrow. I'll just do it next month. I'll do it next week. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do this. No, you have to do it now. Because guess what? Tomorrow is not guaranteed to anybody, right? So if you want to try and, you know, achieve your goals, you need to start now. You need to do it now. There's no other time to do it than now, because tomorrow, like I said, is not guaranteed to anybody. Okay? So you need to get really, really uncomfortable with your current life situation and start hating it. Start really, really disliking what you have to do every day, because you want to have because that's the only way you're going to reach those goals. Because if you have like grand dreams and goals, like let's say, oh, I want to be a millionaire, I want to have a really, really fit body, I want to have a better relationship with my spouse, like you need to get really uncomfortable then with your current situation in order for you to push through. You need to hate it. You need to have a real distaste for how you are living right now so you can improve it, right? It's, you know, it's like if you had, let's say you had zero money, right? It's the same with like the hunger analogy. You had zero money, you had nothing to pay your rent, you had your mortgage, whatever it may be, you had no money at all. And you know, those bills keep on coming in. The main priority for you then, you would be like rushing to find whatever job you could find. That's the drive you need. The drive that you need when you have no money and you really, really need to get it. The drive when you are really, really hungry and you really, really need to find food. You need that kind of drive. You need to realize that your goals and working on your goals need to be like a lifeline for you. That's the way that you're going to stay driven, stay motivated. Because if you're comfortable, you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it to the best extent that you can. And sometimes you may not even do it altogether, and you'll just lay it off to when you feel like it, right? But if you only do things when you feel like it, you're never going to get much done. So when on days when you don't want to, you know, do something, you know, and you feel like you'd rather leave it off until tomorrow, you've got to remember this, right? And you've got to push through. And like I said, you can always come back to this video, costs nothing to do so, to refresh your memory and to hopefully keep you motivated. But only do it, obviously, if this video has motivated you. If you find there might be something else out there that will motivate you better. But if this has motivated you, then please do come back to it. And I would really appreciate it as well if you could leave a like on it, and if you could comment as well about your thoughts about this. So thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.